It is incredibly easy to look at your current life and see nothing but a barren landscape. You can become so trapped in a smog of self-pity that you feel entirely victimized by your own existence. Part of the trap is how we filter our own memories. We look back through rose-colored glasses, painting our past as a perfect time of joy, while completely ignoring the struggles we faced back then. By contrast, the present moment feels hostile. Overdue bills, exhaustion, and physical aches feel like insurmountable, overwhelming problems that never existed before. When you convince yourself that yesterday was a paradise and today is a prison, you stop moving forward. This paralyzing nostalgia is the first phase of a self-engineered psychological breakdown. This line of cars captures the cycle of autopilot, commuting, working, and sleeping in an unexamined loop, where every week is a carbon copy of the last. Living life on autopilot carries heavy real-world costs. In youth detention facilities, like the one seen here, the recidivism rate is staggering. Many young men are told early on that 9 out of 10 of them will spend their lives in and out of incarceration. Without a systematic plan to change that trajectory, individuals often end up using pills to mask the pain or striking back in misdirected anger. Escaping this dangerous downward spiral requires identifying the hidden mechanics that can be used to reverse the drift. These road signs haven't changed. The obstacles in your life haven't suddenly grown taller. Only your perspective of them has shifted. To move forward, you have to conjure a vision of your future so bright that it can't be obscured by your current darkness. This represents the reach of the perceptive mind. If you imagine you have already achieved your goal, you can mentally travel backward to determine what specific skills and resources are needed to bridge the gap. As you move, you'll encounter a gap between how you see yourself and how others view you. Most people will filter your growth through their own fears and limited potential. Perception alone is not enough to change your circumstances. Your vision has to be backed by physical momentum. The author's philosophy is built on the idea that we are matter bound by the same laws of physics that govern the cosmos. This dictates the reward of our efforts. In a Newton's cradle, the reaction is dictated by the energy of the initial action. You cannot put in minimal effort and expect a maximal return. To propel yourself into the next stage of life, you rely on the domino effect, where repetitive action builds force to knock over the next hurdle. Waking up 30 minutes earlier every workday gains you 10 hours a month, or 120 extra hours a year. A falling domino can topple another 1.5 times its size, meaning a small habit eventually knocks over a building-sized obstacle. These repetitive shifts are the gears. They provide the mechanical force necessary to push back against the drift of autopilot. This illustration shows two different approaches to growth. While a tyrant steps on others to climb, a leader acts as a ladder, allowing their team to reach greatness together. Even figures like Steve Jobs required massive collaboration. He was the visionary, but he needed partners like Steve Wozniak and thousands of engineers to build a world-changing corporation. George Lucas created Star Wars, but expanding that universe required an army of creatives and artists working together to build something larger than one person could imagine. In business, every relationship is a connection that either adds value to your life or erodes your bottom line. Long-term growth is a result of adding value to others, creating an ecosystem where everyone wins. Navigating a world of gray areas requires a reliable tool. That tool is a clear conscience, which acts as a compass for your sense of right and wrong. Choosing a short-term gain at someone else's expense creates a cascading effect. That choice pulls your focus away and erodes your self-image over time. If you act against your better judgment, that inner voice can fall silent. The monster waiting in the dark is simply the personification of your own unfulfilled potential. Success is the consequence of your actions. It is the result of systematic, pointed effort mapped to the results you need. When you choose to take action and light the way for those around you, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You start building the path you actually wish to lead.